Today I'm going to show you how the power tilt and telescoping features work on your car's steering wheel. So here I've got the entire steering column removed from the vehicle, and I've already got a video on how the steering column works, and that's linked above. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to be focusing on the tilt and telescoping mechanism. Now, taking a quick look at the setup of the steering column, we've got the airbag and steering wheel at the front here. Then we've got the clock spring over here, and then here at the top we've got these 4 points here that are going to mount to the frame of the dashboard, and that's what this steering column is going to tilt relative to. Inside of here we have the mechanism with these 2 motors here that's going to control the tilt and telescoping function. And finally at the front here we've got the ignition cylinder. This is a smart key, so it's just got a fake key in it, and the steering lock. Now the system also has a 4-way switch that controls the tilt and telescoping functions. Now electronically speaking, at the back here we've got this connector that splits off into the 2 wires that power these motors individually. We've also got this wire here that splits off to the encoders that are going to memorize or count the number of turns on these motors here, so it can reset the steering wheel position as part of the memory function. Now the steering wheel is currently locked. Now in order to begin disassembly, I've got the steering wheel that's locked, and if you watch my previous video you'll know that the steering lock mechanism lives in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that right off. Now the steering wheel is unlocked. I'm just going to remove these 2 12mm bolts. And then I can remove this entire smart key assembly and steering lock. You can see this here was the lock mechanism. Now taking a closer look at this mechanism, we've got the tilt motor over here, and it's got this little spiral gear on it. Now when that rotates, it's going to rotate this bracket over here and make it tilt relative to the steering column. Now if this bracket is relative to the frame, that means that the steering column is going to tilt up and down. Take a look at when I apply 12 volts to that motor, just how that mechanism tilts it all the way down. Now taking a look at the telescoping motor here, we've got the spiral gear located over here, and it's going to connect to the actual steering column and move it in and out relative to these frame points over here. So if you take a look as I power that up, you can see the whole mechanism moving outward over here. Now that telescoping motor is held in by a hex bolt over here and a 12mm bolt over here. Now that those bolts are out, we've got this little bracket that goes around this white bushing here, which is what houses the spiral gear. So when the motor moves, which is fixed here, it's going to move this little bracket inside and out, and this bracket is what's attached to the inside steering column here that moves it inside this shaft back and forth. So just use a screwdriver here to open up that bracket. We'll just remove these 2 Phillips screws here that hold this encoder on, and then when I remove this encoder here, you see it's like a linear potentiometer that moves back and forth, and that's going to give a resistance reading through these 3 wires over here back to the memory control computer to tell you exactly where that position was. And now I can pop off that motor, and you can see here we've got the bushing here. As this motor rotates, this bushing is going to move back and forth, and this little slot here is where the encoder would plug into, and that's also going to move back and forth. And that's how you're going to get the position of the memory memorized. Now this here is just a standard DC motor, so you can see as I hook it up to power here how that mechanism moves. I'm going to just remove these screws here to open up this motor. Just pop that open, and you can see inside here we've got the magnets. Here we've got the stator assembly with all the coils on it in that shaft, and then further inside of there we have the brushes. So this is just a regular brush DC motor. Now sometimes these can wear out, especially if you put a lot of weight on your steering wheel when you're moving it. So you'd have to replace this motor assembly, and it's good to know that it can be easily removed once the column is out of the vehicle. Now it's also worth noting, look at the gear ratio. I have to rotate this stator so many times before I get one rotation of this bushing over here. Now because this is a spiral gear, this bushing is not allowed to rotate the stator itself. So therefore you won't be able to press down on your tilt mechanism or push in on the telescoping mechanism because you'd be working against this spiral gear. And here's a closer look inside of the steering shaft. It's going to move back and forth when this bracket moves it back and forth. You see I can telescope the steering shaft back and forth freely now when there's no motor in the way. Now we'll take a look at the tilt mechanism. We're going to start at the top here again by removing the encoder. Got these 2 Phillips screws here that I'll remove, and then I can pop off that encoder. And once again, this is a linear potentiometer style, so as this gear moves back and forth here with this bushing, this is going to move back and forth and give a resistance reading to the computer. Now here I've got 2 12mm bolts to remove to get this motor off. Then there's an additional 12mm bolt on this side over here. This one's also got a bushing on it here. Then I can remove the motor assembly. Now unlike the telescoping mechanism, which actually moves this in and out, this mechanism for the tilt has to push these 2 brackets relative to each other in order to tilt the steering column. So this is going to push it down this way, and as it pushes it down, this is mounted to the frame, so that's how it moves it relative to the steering column, by giving it this motion here. However, there has to be a return spring because this is only doing the pushing to adjust the position of where this is going to be. When it retracts, the motor is going to retract, which means that you need a spring to bring this bracket back. And that's why this spring is here. Now with that spring removed, we can see the tilt action of the steering wheel here. And it basically pivots about this point over here, but it's also double jointed and pivots about this point over here. So that's how you're able to get a very wide range of motion as this point here that fixed to the frame moves up and down relative to that steering column. Now these sleeves are actually bushings that sit inside of here. There's actually needle bearings inside of this little socket over here to allow this to rotate. That's because inside of here it has to rotate as it pushes, otherwise it's going to bind up. Now the tilt motor is identical to the telescoping motor, so if you do lose your tilt function, it's good to know you can just swap over the motors to get that tilt function back and sacrifice your telescoping function. Once again, it's got this bushing on the end here, and if I power it with 12 volts, you can see how that rotates. Now just remove these screws here on the potentiometer so we can have a closer look. Now here on the bottom we've got the standard board that connects 3 pins here: ground, voltage, and signal. And here we've got the slider mechanism. Now hooking up the potentiometer to my multimeter here, you can see at the maximum side we've got 4.5 kilo ohms, and slowly as I bring that down the resistance drops. Somewhere in the middle it's about 2, then all the way down to the bottom it goes to basically 10 ohms or a full closed circuit. That way if your memory function is not working, you can test to see if this mechanism is actually at fault here, has burned out, or just has some contaminants inside the contacts. I just want to see what's inside this potentiometer. So inside this potentiometer you can see it looks like there's like a graphite-like material. Now graphite is a material that's going to vary its resistance with its length. So the further you are away from the reference voltage side, you're going to have more resistance. Inside of here we've got the little slider, which is just a little contact pad. Now sometimes those could burn out or get contaminants inside, causing a misreading. So the next time your wife adjusts your steering wheel all the way to your chest, think of all the components that have to go inside when you smash that memory button to make it work. Make sure you follow me on Instagram for more behind the scenes footage and subscribe for more videos just like this one.